Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We are streaming live, Watchalong live coverage and commentary of the men's slalom in Kitzbühel, Austria, finishing up the three-day weekend that started with the Super G on Friday, the downhill yesterday, and slalom today. So let's see what we've got going here. All right, I got the chat window open here. Feel free to dive right in here and talk. I got the video feed, looking to get the video feed going right now. We've got the live timing up here. We've got the standings in the men's World Cup slalom, the FIS slalom standings here. And what's really interesting, this is the second run. Make sure you understand, second run today. The first run was a couple hours ago, and currently in the lead. Hold on, let's do something else. Let's talk about who crashed out in the first run, and that's Atlee Lee McGrath. What happened? He is the leader. We're looking at the slalom standings up here on the top right of my screen. If you look, Atlee Lee McGrath, 372 points. In second, Lucas Pinheiro Broughton. So Atlee Lee McGrath is half Norwegian, half American, I think from Vermont, and he races for Norway. Lucas Pinheiro Broughton is Norwegian Brazilian, and he had a bit of a falling out with the Brazilian, with the Norwegian Ski Federation, and now he races for Brazil, where his mom is from, and he's in second, just 21 points behind. Clement Noël from France in third, 343 points. Paco Rassat, also from France, in fourth, 340 points. Timo Haugen from Norway as well, and then Henrik Kristoffersen. But really, those top five within just 42 points of each other. And because Atlee Lee McGrath is, I say McGrath because I've been listening to so many of the European slalom commentaries along the way this season. Because he lost, if any of those other guys from places 2 through 5, that's Broughton, Noël, Rassat, and Haugen, any one of those 4 guys could take the lead in the slalom before the end of the day. So yeah, that lead for him, 21 points, paper thin for McGrath over Broughton. Broughton, I think, is in second. If we go down here and look at the start run, I'm going to scroll down. Still pretty new to OBS. This is only my third live stream using OBS, and I'm looking here at the list. All right, so reverse order, 30th to 1st. Only 30 people qualify for the second run. Loic Meillard of Switzerland in first. He's not in the top 7. Even if he wins today, can't be first in the slalom standings. Edward Hallberg is in second, 35 100s back. He's in 7th overall right now in the slalom standings. Real quick, 7 minutes to go until the first ski racer goes down. Trying to get the live feed over here. If you are trying to stream this live, I will put in the chat, if you have VPN, go to Austria, to the Austrian National News Agency, orf.at or sport.orf.at. I'm typing that into the chat as we speak. Okay, sport.orf.at. And you'll see a link for live coverage. You must be on VPN, and even then, doesn't always work. So let's see what we got here. They're still saying it's on pause. The teletext, that just, okay, I'm starting to see images on my VPN, on my other screen over here on the Mac. Ski Alpine skiing. Yes, we are live from Kitzbühel, Sunday, January 25th, 2026. Men's slalom, run number 2. the Audi FIS Ski World Cup. All right, like I said, we had Maillard was first, Hallberg second, Henrik Kristoffersen third, Manuel Fellner of Austria fourth, and Armand Marchand fifth, Tanguy Neff sixth. There is a small gap of 3,500s from Maillard to Hallberg, but then from Hallberg, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, there are only 17 100ths of a second. So a lot of possibilities here for people to move up, and we'll see exactly what happens here. So answering some messages here on YouTube, and we've got 5 minutes to go. The hill looks good. It looks warm. The trees, which during the week were icy, snow ghosts, as we used to call them up in Seattle. I lived in Seattle for a long time. Did a lot of skiing up there, and absolutely amazing when you get those incredibly slow days, snowy days, cold days. Right now we're going to have the camera. We're going to have Thomas Sikora, was a great champion from Austria back in the 90s in slalom. Big guy, like 6'4", and he's going to go down right now. He's on his way, showing the course, how it's laid out. Pretty flat off the top. Not a lot of harsh turns as he's going along here. A couple of little combo gates, and then the first timing, the sector 1 timing, and we'll get into the timing as well in a second. I've got that up here, as you can see on this screen. We're going to have the current standings for you. But yeah, flat, and then about 25 seconds in here now, it gets a little steeper. Then you have the second timing, and then moving on, it's that whole Steilhang, the steep section, before another kind of flat bit as the whole thing kind of turns a little left, and then fairly flat down the bottom as well. You've got to take your speed with you on this second run. We see lots of really steep slalom runs in the FIS World Cup, and yeah, not always easy to make those transitions. A lot of time you come into a harsh turn, and then all of a sudden it's like 45, 50 degree down angle, and guys are struggling with that. The weather all week during the downhill training sessions, glorious, sunny. Friday for the Super G, glorious and sunny. And then yesterday, clouds rolled in, temperatures went up. Like I say, I can see here on the live feed that the trees are all dark. There is no snow. I made that reference to snow ghosts a little bit earlier. So yeah, definitely warm, which is going to make for interesting snow conditions. People are not even wearing, a lot of them not even wearing hats or gloves. So that is telling me that it is quite warm. So you're gonna get grooves around the gates. Always a big thing here, running this 30 to first reverse order. I know back in the day they used to do 15th to first, and then they would do 16th to 30th. But some years ago they switched that. Now they go 30th to first. Really gives the guys, between spots 20 and 30, a shot at a better piste as they're going down. So definitely an advantage there. You'll see people move up. You'll see early racers jump a bunch of places, because as we get further and further into this second run, there will be people who just can't deal with the conditions. Okay, looking here at the screen, you can see we've got Antoine Azoulin from France. He was 30th after the first run. He is in the start house. If we go down here, we're going to see, yeah, they're going to start to populate this current screen here. I'm controlling it on one of these interact windows in OBS. I'm new to OBS. My left screen's telling me to start in 44 seconds. I'm going to see what the lag is today. Yesterday, the lag was between 25 and 25 seconds and a minute. So on my left screen here, he is in the start house. On my screen now, he is started. So there's a 23-second lag between the live timing that you all and I see here on this window that I'm moving around here in the top left, and the window that I'm watching over here. So if we've got Azuline, wow, early, right away, crashing out. Look at this. Comes out of the start gate, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth gate, and then there's a little rise, and he just got lifted right out. He's done. He didn't get 6 seconds into his run, and he's gone. Pushes out of the start house, really clean. First gate, second gate, third, fourth. On the fifth gate, skis clack together, and he gets airborne, up, legs going up to the right, falls down on his tush on the left side there, right back up on his skis immediately, but that's that. He is gone. Dominic Rascher, this is going to go quick today, okay? Next in the start house, he has started, okay? And his first checkpoint, as you can see up here, 11:90 through the first checkpoint, and he's going to set the first, if he can stay on his feet, he's going to set the first time to beat. All right. Oh my gosh, another DNF. We can see it right here. DNF between Sector 1 and Sector 2. I'm going to let you know in just a second what exactly happened. Goes through the first time check. 2, 3, 4, 5, gate 6, 7, 8, 9. And there are all these little waves, and he went through this second wave just 6, 7 gates after the second timing sector, and he's out. So 2 racers, 2 DNFs. This is shaping up to be really interesting early on. Doesn't affect anybody ahead of them because they were ahead of them already anyway. We're going to go down here. Who's next? Billy Major from Great Britain. He has started. We don't have any times to compare to yet. This is really interesting how this is all happening. All right, hey everybody, welcome. I see a bunch of y'all in the live stream. Go Edward. Edward, are we talking about Edward Hallberg? We have an Edward Hallberg fan here. Peter Gronholm, yeah, maybe, yeah. We will see what happens. Billy Major on course now through Sector 1. Sector 2, he's, of course, the only time to beat so far. So we're going to see what happens through Sector 3. Only 10 plus seconds between Sector 2 and Sector 3. Billy Major from Great Britain was 28th after the first run. Let's see, Sector 4. He's in. He is finally finished. We have somebody who's finally finished. Billy Major with Filip Zubcic on deck has set the time, total time of the 2 combined runs, 1:43.40. He's in. You can see here as we look down here the interact window. Billy Major in first. Azuline DNF'd. Rascher DNF. Filip Zubcic has been really good in the past, but this year struggling a little bit. I don't think he's in the top 10 in the slalom standings, and he's been better than that in the past. So let's just watch and see what happens. We've got our little marquee notice board up here where we're going to see the progress, the progression of the start house, and Zubcic is on course. All right. He is on course 1/100th ahead of Major through the first sector. Let's see what happens now. We finally got some movement here. No, sorry, 3400ths behind Major. Only the third fastest. Remember, the Austrian racer Raschner actually got through the first section before he crashed out. Zubcic well off the pace, though, of Major. Made up a little, made up 2100ths in 1300ths in the second time. No, lost 1300ths more in the second sector. Now 4600 behind, losing steadily, lost another 1900ths. He's now 6500ths behind. And this is over fast. I mean, we're talking 53-second times. And yeah, Zubcic in the finish, lost the space. So Major moves up from 28th to 27th as his worst possible finish. Of course, we don't know who else is going to crash out and allow these guys to move up the standings a little bit. All right, so next is Albert Popov, a really dynamic racer. Unbelievable how dynamic he is. I've been watching him for a little bit. He's short, he's really physical, and we'll see him right away here. Watching the live feed over here. Again, in the chat, you'll see the website that I'm watching at. Can't show it for copyright reasons. They'll probably shut down the live stream if I do. Popov is started 10 100ths behind through after run 1. He's lost 700ths going through the first sector time check. Got it right here. He's now 1700ths behind, 16, 17 seconds to the next. And yeah, really great sector 2 for Popov. He's now 3500ths ahead of Billy Major. Lost a little bit again. He's lost, so he's only, oh no, sorry, he gained 5 more hundreds. Gained 5 more hundreds, 4/10 ahead now. Looks like we're going to have a new leader. Again, watching his style here on the left, he's just so small and dynamic and strong in the lower body, low center of gravity. And is he in? He is in first with a lead of 29 100ths of a second over Billy Major. So Popov maintains his place ahead of Major and Zubcic. And we've got next is Joshua Sturm from Austria. And he's the 30, 20, 28, 27, 26, 25th fastest from the first run. And he's just about to start. So he's next up. You can see it right here. He had 5 100ths on Popov. So Popov really happy there. Got his head skis up, got the thumbs up going. Good to see him get through. I know he's better. He's better than 25th, and we'll see what happens if his time will hold up a little bit. 50.00, fastest second run so far. If you're watching down here, you see their time from the first run, their time from the second run, and so on. Joshua Sturm was 5 100ths ahead of Popov, has gained a little bit. He's now 14 100ths ahead. We're going to see how that goes. Lost 600ths. Now he's only 8 100ths ahead of Popov here as we move through the time checks. The third time check coming up here, 1800ths. So he's got another 10th up on Popov, and Joshua Sturm looking good to take the lead ahead of Popov. And yes, in first place with a great finish, a super strong finish. Look at sector 4, 2700ths alone in sector 4, where Joshua Sturm was ahead of Popov. So good for him. A fairly young guy coming in. Haven't seen him race much, but now he's taken the lead. Run to 49.60. First guy in the second run under 40, under 50, and he's bib 44. Look at that, bib 44. Got into the top 30, and he's now in the lead with 24 racers to go. Next is the Spaniard Juan del Campo Hernandez, and he is on the way. 9 100ths. We got to watch it up here. He started. We should be able to get that first time check coming up there. There we go. 2900ths behind. So he's lost quite a bit in sector 1 already. Now he came in with bib 58 and made it into the top 30. So good for him. Highest bib qualified for run 2 is what I'm seeing on the live feed over here, and he is on his way. But he had a bit of a rough patch between sectors 1 and sector 2. You see if I can see what happened here, but he lost almost 8 or 9 tenths. Yeah, just kind of rough and tumble. I'm seeing an awful lot of deep cutting into the snow, a lot of wet kind of spray of snow going up there. He's coming down, and he is into the finish line in 5th out of 5 finishers. Remember, we had those 2 early DNFs with Azulin and Rachner. But Del Campo Hernandez has made it through. Worst case, he's going to be 28th. But yeah, a pretty bad second run, almost 2 full seconds behind. Hans Graal Madsen from Norway is next. This is going to be a much quicker live stream than Friday and yesterday, where the Super G and the downhill lasted between an hour and a half and 2 hours for my coverage. This is like boom, 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 you know, one after another. Hans Graal Madsen next. He's got 14 hundredths on Joshua Sturm of Austria. So the Norwegian about ready to start. We're watching here. It says next and started. So he is on his way. We're going to move up here and watch him go through. He had 14 hundredths on Sturm going through and lost quite a bit already. So he's lost 23 100ths. He's now 9 hundredths behind Joshua Sturm. So this kid, Joshua Sturm, doing really well today. Had a great second run, 49.60. Yeah, Hans Graal Madsen continues to lose time. He's now 31 hundredths behind. Still has a chance for second up till now, but I'm watching him over here. Again, looks like it's, yeah, a lot of wide skis. He's not keeping it tight. 71 hundredths, and he is into the finish. Dropped 2 spots. He's now 3rd overall, so he's behind Sturm and Popov. And yeah, he just looks a lot, you know, a lot of these guys who don't get into the top 30 and don't have the chance to make points that often, when they get into the top 30, you often see that they'll be very, very cautious in that second run because they really want to get points. If they get points, their start position moves up. When their start position moves up, they have better conditions in the snow, and they have a better chance to do well and consistently make points and consistently get a better starting position. So Del Campo Hernandez, even though he had a terrible second run, he got through. The worst he can be is 28th. You know, Hans Graal Madsen right now, the worst he can be is like 24th. So, you know, that's really great for some of these guys with the high bib numbers. Next up, we have Fabio Gstein. And this is always interesting for me because I spent a lot of time in Austria as a kid and again as an adult, and then the last 5 years before I moved here to Valencia, Spain. And Fabio Gstein is the son of Bernhard Gstein, who was a really great slalom racer in his own day back in the 90s. So I used to watch this kid's dad win races back in the day, which was pretty exciting to see his kid now. And let's see how he's doing. He is up. He is up through every single thing and comes across with a brilliant second run of 49 seconds, a whole 6/10 faster in the second run, plus the time that he already had an advantage. So he ends up 76 100ths ahead of Joshua Sturm. Looks great. I'm watching now because of that 22-second lag between the live timing and the live, or the tape delayed, 20-second tape delayed feed here. And yeah, he just looked really, really solid. So good for him. You know, he had bib 12. He should be a little better than 23rd or 24th. But yeah, just hasn't had the greatest season so far. But that's a solid second run from 22nd. Now he's first. And how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys behind him. definitely looks like he might be able to make up some spaces. You can see here the progression column. Highlighting that, you can see the little tooltip. For now, he was the fastest of this bunch so far in run 1, and he is now in the lead. You know, Storm up 1, Popov up 2, Grau Madsen lost 2 spots, Del Campo Hernandez lost 4. So that's how they do it. Fabian Ax Swartz from Sweden is on his way. He only had 1/100th up on Stein, and he's already lost 200, so he's now 1/100th behind through sector 1, now a quarter of a second behind. Yeah, there's a big gap between Stein and Storm for first and second, almost 3/4 of a second. So when you see the rank right now, Swartz is still in second, even though he's losing time consistently. He may still slot into second overall here. We're going to see in just a few seconds. Yes, he kept losing. He lost 63 hundredths overall, 64 hundredths in this second run. And he's now in second. So you can see now that Stein, from his run 1 spot of 22nd place, is now up 1. And Fabian Ax Swartz lost 1 from his 21st. He's going to not best possible finish, but for now, if everybody else gets through without crashing or DNF, he will be 22nd. So he would have lost 1 spot. Next up is Tommaso Sala from Italy. And he is just about to start. He has 6/100ths up on Fabio Stein. So he was 20th after the first run, had a 6/100ths advantage. So we're going to see him start now. We're going to follow his progression through. How are we doing over here? Anybody got any comments, things to say? Talk to me, guys. Exciting weekend. Maybe there's a bit of a letdown after the Super G and the downhill on Friday and Saturday. You know, slalom, maybe not quite as exciting, but I love it. I love watching it. And here we go. We've got Tommaso Sala. He was 6/100ths up. He's losing time steadily. He's already lost more than 3/4 of a second. He still has a chance for 3rd or 4th place, but he's going to lose several spots. The question is only, and he's in 4th, 9/10ths back. So you can see down here, he is now in 4th, a drop of 3, 9/10ths back, and in run 2, 4th overall, almost a second behind. So yeah, definitely not a great second run for him. Bib 26, so in the second 15, a decent number, not top tier, but you know, so still a guy who's probably used to getting points regularly, but not such a great second run here. And now you can see that Fabio Stein's time has moved him up 2 spots. And the 1 spot that Fabian Ax Swartz lost before, he's made up now because Tommaso Sala has dropped below him. And Joshua Storm up 2 spots from his 24th. And we're going to see just how far up he can move. So Austria, Sweden, Austria right now. Dave Riding, a solid slalom skier from Great Britain. Now on the course, he had 11/100ths up on Stein after run 1. Lost 2/100ths of that. Dave Riding, one of the few British ski racers out there. We did have Billy Major in this race as well, and he's fairly new to me. But yeah, Riding is in there, and he's losing time as well now. So his 11/100ths advantage after the first run has already turned into a 1/4 of a second disadvantage, 38/100ths disadvantage. He could still slot into second if he finishes strong here. And wow, lost a good bit again at the end, lost almost 4/10ths in the last 10 seconds. So I'm not sure. I'm going to look here on the left and see exactly what happened as he comes down. Those last 10 seconds, he was still doing great. I just want to see, the snow does not, it didn't look solid. No big errors. But yeah, 7,700's back, and that takes him into fourth. So now you can see he lost 3 spots here. Joshua Storm up 3, Fabian Swartz up 1, and Fabio Stein up 3 spots now from his 22nd. So he'll finish at least in 19th. 18 more people to go, 9, 10, 11, 12. Christopher Jakobsen on his way starting now, and he had 21 100ths ahead of Fabio Stein. So we're starting to see bigger gaps between these later starters and the fellows already in. 21 100ths to start. He's lost 3 hundredths. He's still in first, but only 18 hundredths now ahead of Fabio Stein. And we're going to see the next time, the second sector is also fairly short, and he's through only 4 100ths ahead. So this is still not a sure thing for him, and he does look like he's just struggling in the corners a little bit. We're going to see here he's now 14 hundredths behind, so he's already lost more than a third of a second. 35 hundredths as we passed the sector 3 timing, and into the finish in second, 13 100ths back. So this gives Fabio Stein another progression upward. He's now gained 4 spots at least through these first 13 riders. Marco Schwartz, a very good skier from Austria, is next. He had bib 16, so just out of the first bunch. Christopher Jakobsen getting a lot of cheering here on the video feed from his team, his coaches, at the finish line there. The crowd's not nearly as big as Friday and yesterday. I think the Austrians have been a little disappointed. They didn't do so great. I think Babinski was third in the Super G, and no Austrians above in the top 10 in the downhill yesterday. The news in Austria was pretty bleak. All right, Marco Schwartz, 29 100ths up on his countryman, on Fabio Stein, as he's about to start here in run number 2, and lost 5 100ths in the first section. You can see he dropped from 29 100ths to 24 100ths of a lead. He's still in first and DNF. All right, we have our next DNF, and that's going to move Stein up 5 spots. This is turning out to be a really great second run for Fabio Stein. The 49 seconds that you see here in the lower section under run 2. Yeah, he's pissed. He's so pissed. He's got like the, got his pulls up, and right away, you can see him saying things that only adults should hear. And yeah, just came into a left turn and tried to take it too tight. Left ski hits the pole, bounces out to the left, pole between the gate between the legs, and he's out. And he just went right into arg, So he's out. He is out, and what does that give us? Three DNFs, Azulin, Raschner, and Schwartz. Again, a bleak weekend for the Austrians. 2 more DNFs, but there I'm seeing the current leader, Fabio Stein, and they're showing again the progression. He is up 5 spots. So from 22nd, he will be at least 17th, no worse than 17th. So good for him. We got anything over here, guys? How you doing? See, we got a bunch of people now watching. Thank you all for watching. Hope you're enjoying the commentary here. Travels with Tony. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do everything about A to B, whether it's cycling, trains, ferries, sports, and skiing, and all kinds of things. We're going to do a lot of coverage of the Olympics coming up, particularly around the alpine skiing, maybe some of the bobsledding and some of the snowboarding. So stick around. you know, coming up 2 weeks from Friday. So in 12 days, we have the opening ceremonies. If you look at my channel, you'll see I did a big preview video of the Olympics in Milano Cortina, spread out all over northern Italy this year, and it starts in 12 days. So stay tuned. Like I said, like and subscribe, and don't miss the upcoming things. We're going to cover the Crans-Montana races next weekend, and then the weekend after that's already the Olympics. So we got the opening ceremonies on Friday the 6th. We've got the downhill the very next morning, I believe, from Bormio in northern Italy, which is north of Milan. Much of the other alpine skiing is going to be from Cortina. And yeah, just watching Eric Solberg here come down. He did get through, but he lost a ton of time. And he is in 10th overall. We've got a commercial break going on right now with the Austrian feed, the video feed. And once again, just to summarize, Fabio Gstein in first so far with the fastest sector run 2 time of 49.00, 49 flat. All right, he's moved up 6 spots already. And the worst he can be is 16th. So definitely good points. We're through the first 15, which means we're basically halfway through in just 25 minutes. Slalom run 2 tends to go fast. Okay, there's not a whole, they're 49 seconds to 50 seconds for the race. They're only giving them another, maybe they're starting like every minute and 15 or a minute and 30. So it's really boom, boom, boom. And we're going to see the top 15 now. So next up is Victor Mufa-Jondé. And then we're going to start to get into some of the, we got an American coming up, Benjamin Ritchie, Daniel Yule, and then Lucas Pinheiro Broughton. And you can see from my screen up here on the top right, the slalom standings. Once again, Atlee Lee McGrath, the overall leader in slalom this season with 372 points. You see this top right window with the standings. He is out after run 1. He crashed out in run 1. And we're back to action. Victor Mufa-Jondé, he's on his way. He had 4 tenths, 41 hundredths ahead of Fabio Gstein. And he's lost 15 hundredths already at the first sector time. Still in first overall because of that big lead, but only a quarter of a second left buffer. And we're going to see now the second timings coming up just there. And wow, he lost 6 tenths between the sector 1 timing and the sector 2 timing. He's now 35 hundredths behind. May not even finish second, probably end up third behind Jakobsen. Yep, now 46 hundredths behind. And if he doesn't do something to stop the bleeding here, he will definitely end up in 4th or 5th. And yes, 4th it is, 75 100ths behind. So he's lost 3 spots. 1 second and 16 hundredths back in run 2 alone, back of Fabio Gstein, whose second run is turning out to be an absolute barn burner. 49 flat, nobody has come close. The only one who came close was Christopher Jakobsen. You can see down in the bottom timing run here, he was only 34 100ths behind in run 2. But Fabio Gstein now has progressed 7 spots. He's moved up 7 spots from his 22nd, and the worst he can finish now is 15th. All right, moving on, who's next? Benjamin Ritchie from the US with bib 31, ended up in 14th after the first run. Good for him. And he is about ready to go. We're going to see him pop down. If you're following in this top left window, you will see that he is on his way. He had almost a half second, 49 100ths ahead of Fabio Gstein. These differentials are starting to get bigger, but I think we're also starting to see that the slope is breaking up a little bit. We're getting slow times, we're getting people DNFing, and I think it's difficult. And yeah, Benjamin Ritchie on his way, lost 13 hundredths in the first sector, still in first with that 36 hundredths of a second lead. Looks good. pretty calm racer. Only 900s now after sector 2, still in first, but his progression is definitely going the wrong way. Lost almost 3/10 in sector 2, and now he's only 4 100ths ahead, sector 3. Will he be able to stay in first? It's going to be really tight. No, he lost 38 100ths in the final sector. From sector 3 timing to the finish line, he lost 38 hundredths, and he is only third. Only third, solid third, but only third. And that means that we now have Fabio Gestrein first, Christopher Jakobsen from Sweden second, and Benjamin Ritchie of the United States in third. And that means that Fabio Gestrein's moved up 8 places now, from 22nd to a worst possible finish of 14th. So the points that he will make today, start number 12, had a pretty bad 22nd place run. Benjamin Ritchie, unfortunately for him, he stumbled out of the gate. And it wasn't even that he lost so much time up top. But yeah, he could have definitely placed higher if he didn't stumble. He kind of got caught, I think, at his right pole, and then like his right leg got behind him a little. So yeah, that was definitely an issue that caused him some problems. All right, Lucas Pinheiro Braten, only in 11th after the first run, is on deck, but we still have Daniel Jule. Daniel Jule from Switzerland, almost 7/10 up, and through the first time check, lost 700ths, but now lost 3/10 to the second time check. 3/10 still ahead of Fabio Gestrein. And we're going to see now 14 100ths. He's only got 1400ths left to give as he comes down to the finish line. Will he take first? We'll know in just a second. He is second by 8 100ths. So he slots in between Fabio Gestrein and Daniel Jule and Christopher Jakobsen. Daniel Jule now in second place. And again, losing more than 2/10 from sector 3 time check to the finish line. And that is not a long way. That's only 10 seconds. And he still lost 22 100ths in that 1 second. So he lost 38 hundredths just in the last 2 sectors, each one of them only being 10 seconds. So, but now the guy who needs to really make some noise, Lucas Pinheiro Braten, only 11th after the first run, but 77 100ths ahead of Fabio Gestrein, who has now moved up 9 spots and will finish no worse than 13th. But Lucas Pinheiro Braten, second overall, if you look up here, 21 points behind Attlee Lee McGrath. He has a chance to move up into first overall, but a lot will depend on what the other guys ahead of him, Clement Noel, Paco Rosati, Mohagen Christoffersen, and Hallberg. Saw somebody in the chat going, go Edward. So Edward Hallberg will come up in just a bit, but Braten is on course. He's lost only 4 100ths through sector 1 time check. This is a Norwegian skier with a Brazilian mom racing for Brazil after a falling out with the Norwegian Ski Federation. Now races for Brazil, and yeah, he's solid. He is actually gaining time now 8/10 up on Gestrein. So overall gain, and now another 900. So he's now 9/10 up, and he's looking really solid to set an absolutely stunning new first place time. Yeah, he's in first. 49.04 for the second run, which gives him the second fastest. So Fabio Gestrein still the fastest run in run 2, but Pinheiro Braten with his 73 100ths of an advantage over the first run over Fabio Gestrein. Yeah, looking good. Boy, solid run. Just watching the tail end of it here, 20 seconds here. He's definitely, done what he needs to do. Gives a little bow to the crowd. Lucas Pinheiro Braten, and he is now our leader through the first 20 racers. So we have 10 10 to go. We scroll down, we'll see here, we still have Lina Strasser, Paco Rosat, Haugen, Noel, Tanguy Neff, Armand Marchand, Manuel Feller, Henrik Kristoffersen, Edward Hallberg, and Loic Meillard. So 10 to go. 10 to go. Let's get back up here because Johannes Strolz, who was tied with Broughton in that 10th, 11th spot, is on his way. He has started and heading towards the first time check. So he was even. He was even with Strolz, and we're going to see he's 3/100ths behind. So yeah, really tight there. Definitely really tight between Strolz and Pinheiro Broughton. They were tied coming into the second run. And now to time check 2, we're going to see where Strolz, and he's lost a lot of time. He's lost 6/800ths, 7/10ths. He may not even end up second. He's actually in third right now. We have to see what happened there. Oh yeah, definitely coming over the second compression there. He lost a lot of time. Just got compressed so hard. And yeah, he's lost so much time that he's actually all the way down in 5th place, tied for 5th with Benjamin Ritchie of the US. So he's lost 1.07 seconds to Broughton. And now Fabio Stein has made that incredible move, his progression. You can see it down here in the bottom in that third column, nationality, total time, and PR for progression. He's up 10 spots. 10 spots from 22nd to a worst possible finish of 12th. All right, Lina Strasser of Germany is next, and he had only 1/10 of a second advantage over Pinheiro Broughton, but he had 8/10 over Stein, who's now in second. So really, we're going to see if he can keep up with the pace that Pinheiro Broughton set for this second run with the second fastest time, just 4/100ths behind Fabio Stein. And Lina Strasser should be starting any second now. Watching down here, you can see next and started. He started, and here we go. 1/10 of a second he had up on Pinheiro Broughton. And 2/200ths up now. So Lina Strasser puts in an excellent sector 1, gains 12/100ths, and is in first still by almost 1/4 of a second. And we're going to come up to time check 2 here. But now he's lost quite a bit in that second sector. Now 1900ths behind. Wow, almost 4/10 of a second lost between sector 1 and sector 2. Gained 900ths back. 1/10 as we come towards the finish line. Will he be able to overtake Broughton? Yes, Lina Strasser with a last-ditch effort makes up over 2/10, 23/100ths between the sector 2 timing and the finish line timing, and has put him now into first place by 4/100ths of a second over Lucas Pinheiro Broughton with a second run time of 49:10. You can see it here, run 2. Fabio Stein still has the bold number 1 next to his name in run 2. In the run 2 column, he is the fastest in run 2 with 49 flat. Broughton 600ths behind that, and Strasser 10/100ths behind that. But yeah, 4/100ths, Strasser ends up with the advantage. Paco Rosat, 4th overall, has to do better than Broughton to have a chance to overtake him. He's only 11 points behind Lucas Pinheiro Broughton in the overall slalom standings. 351 to 340. Pinheiro Broughton over Rosat. So Paco Rosat next up, and he should be starting shortly. Watch the next down here. It's going to change to started in just a second. There it is. He's started, and he had 11/100ths over Strasser going in. And we're going to see Strasser had an excellent second run here. And yeah, Rosat has lost 36/100ths. He is now behind Pinheiro Broughton. And that's going to matter. That is going to matter in the overall slalom standings. And time check 2. It's going to go from 25 hundredths behind to only 16. So he made up 9/100. Let's see if Paco Rosat of France can finish strong and overtake Broughton to try to get closer to him in the overall slalom standings. Oh, big mistake between sector 2 and sector 3. Lost 3/4 of a second there, and he is now down in 6th overall. So great news for Lucas Pinheiro. Broughton, one of his closest competitors, has had a terrible second run. I'm trying to watch here and see what happened through the last 10, 12 gates. Didn't look that bad. He got a little airborne, but yeah, basically, yeah, between sector 2 and 3, that was really where he lost all that time. So yeah, Rosat is in 6th, which means that everybody else above him has moved up another spot. As you can see, Fabio Extrain now up 11 positions from 22nd to a worst possible finish of 11th, and Pinheiro Broughton still in 2nd, those 4 100s behind Linus Strasser. Timon Haugen, who's in 5th overall, just 10 points behind Rosat and 21 points behind Broughton, Pinheiro Broughton in the slalom standings. All right, we have a TV timeout so we can catch up a little bit on this. What I was just saying, if we look up here in the window in the top right, you can see the current standings in slalom. And yeah, Timon Haugen, who's up next. We have 10 racers left. We look down here, we've got Haugen, Clement Noel. So Haugen's 5th overall, Clement Noel is 3rd overall. Tanguy Neff has been better in the past, not so good right now. Marchand from Belgium had a great first run, but he's not in the top 10, so he won't affect. Manuel Fellner, also not in the top 7 or 8 in slalom. Henrik Kristoffersen, 6th overall, but over 100 points behind Pinheiro Broughton. So even if he wins, he cannot pass Broughton in the current standings. Edward Hallberg, 7th overall. He has probably the most points to gain here today to move up and push some of these other guys down. We're going to see a real tightening of the slalom standings after today. So back to live TV coverage here. Timo Haugen has started. Let's make sure we don't miss anything. He had 18 100ths of a second advantage over Strasser, Linus Strasser, our current leader, after run 1. And he is heading to time check 1 right about now. Let's watch the clock tick. Let's see, he had 18 hundredths. Oh, he's lost 2 tenths. He's now 2 hundredths behind. Moving into sector 2 to 3. And yeah, he is still losing time. He's now lost almost 6 tenths of a second, 41 hundredths behind. Still gives him a shot at 3rd, but lost another 17 hundredths. Another 2 tenths, and he falls behind Fabio Extrain. We're going to see what happens here. Timon Haugen, okay, finished strong, ends up 3rd, slots in between Pinheiro Broughton and Fabio Extrain for 3rd overall, but not a great second run, only the 7th fastest second run, 59 100ths of a second behind Strasser, behind Strain's fastest time, 49 100ths behind Strasser in the second run. He just didn't have that much to give. So he's lost at least 2 spots already. So our podium right now as it stands with 9 skiers to go. Linus Strasser of Germany, Lucas Pinheiro Broughton of Brazil, and Timon Haugen of Norway in 3rd. Clement Noel of France is next up. Should be starting any second now. We see the next right here. We have 3 DNFs so far, Azolin, Rashner, and Schwartz. And Clement Noel started. All right, let's get back up to the live timing up here. He had 27 100ths of an advantage after run 1 over Timon Haugen, over Linus Strasser, and he's lost 7 100ths. He can barely afford to lose that many each time check. So moving now into time check 2, we're going to see what Clement Noel can do here. And he's maintained the same gap. So no more lost time between sectors 1 and 2 timing. And he's still moving down. Could be our new leader. Watching the feed on the left here from sport.orf.at, the Austrian news and sports national television. Can't show it for copyright reasons, but it's also delayed 20 seconds. Clement Noel into the finish, 3rd overall. So he lost 21 hundredths going into sector 3 and another 8 hundredths going down. So he lost 4 tenths between sector 2 and sector 3. I don't see it. I don't see what I'm watching here, that now they got the replay. I don't see what he did that was so much worse, but he is now in 3rd. And this is looking better and better for Lucas Pinheiro Broughton, who had a bad first run, was only 11th after run 1, is 2nd overall in the Slalom World Cup standings behind Atli Lee McGrath, who DNF'd in the first run today. So again, we have 5 guys within 42 points overall in men's slalom, in the slalom standings for the small crystal ball, right? They have small crystal trophies for each of the disciplines, for slalom, giant slalom, super G, and downhill. So yeah, Clement Noel lost a good half a second, is still 3rd at this point, but you know, there's still some time differentials, and a big one coming up right now. Tanguy Neff, 54 100ths of an advantage that he had over Linus Strasser after run 1. He was 6th, and he is on his way. Lost 14 hundredths in the first sector, but still has the green. He's still in 1st. Moving towards the 2nd time check now, Tanguy Neff, a veteran who's had some great results in the past, losing time again, 15 100ths of an advantage again, or still, but he's going the wrong way. And now, yeah, now he's lost another 38 100ths, and he's 23 hundredths behind. May be good enough for 3rd, may not. You can see how he does in that last section from the 3rd time check to the finish, 28 100ths. Yes, and he slots in 1 100th of a second ahead of Clement Noel for 3rd place. So Strasser and Pinheiro Broughton, 1st and 2nd, both have moved up 4 spots with just 5 racers to go. So both of them looking super solid to move up from 10th and 11th. Tanguy Neff, 6th in the first run, can't, unless there are a lot of crashes, won't even keep his 6th place. And Clement Noel, who was 3rd overall in the slalom standings, will not make up any ground. He was only 8 points behind Pinheiro Broughton coming in. So he's lost 2 spots at least to Pinheiro Broughton, and he will not be able to close that gap this weekend. Again, don't forget, next week we're going to be in Crans-Montana doing live commentary of the Super G and downhill from there. And then in just 12 days, the Olympics are starting. Opening ceremonies February 6th. We may cover that, but we'll definitely be online live watching the downhill, which is the first alpine skiing event. So Friday night, the 6th, is the opening ceremonies in Milan in San Siro Stadium. You can see my video in the description or on my channel. If you subscribe, take a look. That's going to be, there's a great video about all the Olympic venues and events and where they're going to be held, and San Siro Stadium in Milan, where AC Milan, Inter Milan play. They are going to be Friday night, the 6th of February, the next morning in Bormio, the downhill skiing for the men. Armand Marchand on his way, losing time. He had 58 100ths overall ahead, but he's lost almost 7 tenths and now slots into 3rd. So Linus Strasser and Lucas Pinheiro Broughton have done a great job Fabio Gstrein, who moved up all those spaces, 11 spaces, now down to 7th, as the gaps, you know, from him from 22nd overall, the gaps just got too big. So in run 1, yeah, 22nd place up to 11th now. So again, our podium now as it stands, Lina Strasser, Lucas Pinheiro-Braten, Armand Marchand, with Tanguy and Clement Noel and Timo Haugen all being pushed down further. All right, who's next? We've got four racers to go. Manuel Feller of Austria, then Christoffersen, Hallberg, and Maillard. So this is it. We're into the decision time. Manuel Feller, a bit of a wild man from Austria. He'll have some average results, and then all of a sudden he'll have an amazing race and crush everyone. 4th, so he's definitely right there. Yeah, there are some pretty tight gaps in that 2nd to 5th. So he is 58/100ths ahead of Lina Strasser. So let's see what he can do here. You can see he has started. He's lost 1/4 of a second in the first sector to Strasser. And the question is, does he have a mistake, or is the slope really starting to give? I mentioned earlier that I saw a lot of kind of wet spray coming up. Second time, 37. Okay, he gained a little bit of time back between sectors 1 and 2. Still 37/100ths up on Strasser. One more time check, sector 3 time check, 3300. So he's keeping it really consistent here. 33, 37, 33. And he's in. And a great finish for Manuel Feller. Gained another 0.2 of a second back in that final section from sector 3 time check to the finish line, and finishes 0.5 seconds ahead of Linus Strasser. So Feller was 4th in run 1, and he has the 4th fastest time in run 2, 49:15. Again, Fabio Gstrein, as you see here, all the way down in 8th place, was still the fastest. He still has that bold number 1 next to his name for the fastest run in run 2. All right. Manuel Feller, Lina Strasser, Lucas Pinheiro-Braten. That is our podium right now, with a big gap between 1st and 2nd of 53/100ths. And I think we're going to see that the guys now, Christoffersen only has 1/100th ahead of an advantage ahead of Manuel Feller coming into the second run. So no room for error for Henrik Christoffersen. Now, Christoffersen is 6th overall, and a strong finish here. 3rd. It would be great if he'd make up a lot of points. I think it's like 180, 60, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, all the way down to 1 point for 30th. So yeah, we're definitely going to see some fireworks now as Christoffersen is next up with only 3 racers left to go in today's slalom from Kitzbühel. Fantastic weekend. I did live coverage and commentary of the Super G Friday downhill yesterday. You can see both of those under my live feeds if you want. Pretty long coverage, almost 2 hours on each of those. Today it's going much quicker. We're only 53 minutes in, and Henrik Christoffersen is on his way, and he's lost 1/10 through the first time check to Manuel Feller. All right, so Feller, solid run in the second run, and yeah, Christoffersen losing more time. He's lost 28/100ths more, now 37/100ths of a second behind, and this is going south quickly. We're gonna have to see if he can stop the bleeding. No, because now he's not even in the top 3 anymore. He's now 0.6 back, which puts him into 4th if he doesn't lose any more time. But he's lost more time, and he's 8th. Big disappointment for Henrik Christoffersen to drop from 3rd to 8th. And what that means now, with just 2 skiers left on top, Edward Hallberg and Loic Maillard, one thing we can say is that Manuel Feller of Austria has secured at least a podium finish, at least 3rd. Christoffersen, not happy. He's not going to be happy. You can see him through the finish line now, just looking up in the air, shoves those poles into the ground, undoing his buckles on his ski boots, and not happy at all. Some pretty funky neon green ski poles there. I'm trying to see where the mistake was that cost him so much time, because really he lost consistently all the way down, 28 100s, 23 100s, 38 100s in the final one. Yeah, he had some pretty wide skis and hands up in the air, like through some of them that didn't look like quite normal. Like he just didn't have the balance through some of that. Goes over and gives a big handshake to Manuel Feller. And let's see now, we've got started Edward Hallberg, second in the first run, and he is on course. Only 13 100ths ahead of Manuel Feller. So we're getting to the point now where Manuel Feller is looking like he might even do better, because Hallberg has lost 11 hundredths at the first time check already. Only 2 100ths left to give. Coming into the second time check now, Hallberg lost another 23 hundredths, and he is now down 2/10. Still would put him second. And remember, he's 7th overall. So what I'm seeing now is that, 35 100ths down. If he doesn't take care, he may end up in 4th or 5th. Can't lose any more time at the bottom. He's already too close. 58. Oh my gosh. He has finished 1 100th behind Lucas Pinheiro Broughton. And that has a big impact overall, because Hallberg was looking to move up today and try to close the gap to McGrath and Broughton and Noel. And he won't. Well, Noel, he'll make up some time. But Edward Hallberg ends up 4th, 58 100ths. So just Feller first, Lina Strasser second, 53 hundredths back. Lucas Pinheiro Broughton third, 57 100ths back. And then Edward Hallberg 4th, 58 100ths back. So 3 guys within 5 100ths of a second there. And Feller looking really, really solid now. So, but Loic Meillard, leader after the first run, had almost half a second. And he's our last racer. So this is it. Grand finish, guy, grand finale. Loic Meillard next to start in the start house. We're going to wait for this next to switch to started. And see him come down. He's got 48 100ths of a second to the good over Manuel Feller. And he has started. This is it. Final racer of the day. Loic Meillard, 48 100ths ahead of Feller. And we're going to find out pretty quickly. 12 seconds to the first time check, more or less. He's gained 2 100ths. So there, you know, he's definitely showing his mettle. He's not in the top 7 in the Slalom Cup standings. 100 points today for a win would really help him. So let's see where we are. Oh, lost 2/10 between sectors 1 and 2. 3/10 left to give. Still 20 seconds to go. And he's lost 4/10 between time check 2 and 3. This is now looking like Manuel Feller's day. Meillard, 1/10 back. He's going to have to finish incredibly strong. And no, he can't. He ends up in second. So he splits the podium, knocking Pinheiro Broughton off the podium. And we can now see these are our final results here. Manuel Feller in first, wins from 4th after the first run, and now has won this thing, gets the 100 points, will definitely move way up the slalom standings. Loic Meillard, after leading the first run, falls to second. Lina Strasser moved from 10th up to 3rd, and Lucas Pinheiro Broughton from 11th up to 4th. Edward Hallberg in 5th had lost 3 spots from 2nd down to 5th. Armand Marchand lost a spot. Tanguy Neff lost a spot to finish 7th. Clement Noel down to 8th, losing a spot. Timon Haugen lost a spot. Christofferson, who was 3rd after the first run, loses 7 whole spots to 10th. And Fabio Gstrein, who we saw early on in this, 22nd after the first run, now in 11th place. So there's your race. I'm watching them now. They're really quick these days about setting up the podium and the trophy presentation. We've got Fellner and Loic Meillard and Lena Strasser. Strasser with bib 11 and the typical German ski suits with the white and the tiger stripes on the side. The Austrians with their very typical red and white suit. And then in third, in second, Loic Meillard of Switzerland with the kind of reddish orange gradient style design on their outfits. So this makes up for, well, we had a third for Austria on Friday in the Super G, I believe, and then a no top 10 yesterday. So there was a lot of negative press this morning about the Austrians not performing well at home in Kitzbühel, which is a big day for them. It's always a big weekend, but a solid way for the Austrian team to finish the weekend by winning the slalom here in Kitzbühel on the Hahnenkamm, just a little bit to the right of the downhill and Super G slope that we watched on Friday and Saturday in our live coverage. So once again, thanks everybody for watching. Loic Meillard being celebrated here for his second place finish. He's going to get a bunch of points and move up. Broughton's going to get a bunch of points and probably will take the lead. I don't have the calculator brain, but I'm thinking he's in first in the slalom standings after this race for his fourth place finish. Meillard moves way up because he's going to get 80 points. Feller is going to move way up because he gets 100 points. Yeah, so a big day for Manuel Feller, winning the slalom here in Kitzbühel. Glad you guys are all here watching. Appreciate that. Again, don't forget, we're going to be doing lots and lots of coverage of ski racing and other events coming down the pipe here. The Crans-Montana races next weekend in France, in Switzerland, France? I have to double check that one. Are going to be the Super G and downhill. We're going to cover both of those. And then the following Friday, February 6th, is the Olympics Winter Games 2026, Milano Cortina. That Friday evening is the opening ceremonies. And then on Saturday morning, right away, men's downhill to kick off the Winter Olympic Games. So it's going to be from Bormio. We're going to be watching. Join us for that. It's going to be great. I'm going to try to have a legal feed because I think the Spaniards, I'm in Spain right now, I think the RTVE is going to show it, and I think I can manage that without any issues with the, right now it's hard, not just because the Austrians are so strict about what you're allowed to show live or not, but also the VPN. I had decent coverage today, but yeah, overall, I had good video coverage today. I think yesterday with the downhill, a lot of people were watching. We just had a tough time with that. So yeah, here we are. End of coverage for today. One more time, Manuel Feller of Austria wins the slalom in Kitzbühel ahead of Loic Meillard and Lena Strasser, rounding out the podium finish. So hope you enjoyed it. Gonna stop streaming right now. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and we will see you all next time. Bye for now.